God, O Israel. I'll tell you, when God Almighty, the eternal God of heaven, when He looks down upon the best people that He has on the face of the earth and says, prepare to meet your God, the rest of the people better stop and listen. God is trying to say something to us today. I'm afraid most of us are not getting it. But God is trying to say something to us today. Man's most important relationship in this world is his relationship to God. It's not your relationship to the government. It's not your relationship to some society or some lodge. It's your relationship to God. If you have the wrong relationship to God, you're haywire. Things are wrong in your life. That's what's wrong with America, because they are depending upon everything but God. Tried to rule God out of the schools, and now they're trying to rule Him out of the government. And we've lived in a God is dead kind of an age the last few years, and God is beginning to work. You're going to see some things that'll startle you during the next few years. You make no mistake about it. This world hadn't seen anything yet. You think you can defy God, you better stop and reevaluate your thinking. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You can't defy God. The eternal God that rules in the heavens, He's still pulling the strings. They're not being pulled from Washington. They're not being pulled from United Nations. God Almighty is pulling those strings. And God will only allow certain things to happen so long. And one of these days, God's going to say it's enough. And He's going to bring judgment on this world such as they've never seen before, such as the world has never experienced before. There are three things suggested in this text: the second coming of Christ, the day of final retribution, and the need for spiritual preparation. This is an old-fashioned text. I haven't preached on it a long time, but I used to hear my dad preach on it years ago. In fact, the business, he preached on it over at High Street one time when I was pastor over there many, many, many years ago. It was the last sermon I ever heard him preach. Prepare to meet thy God, O Israel. First of all, the very fact that he says prepare to meet your God indicates that our God is coming, that we're going to meet Him. And we're looking for the coming of the Lord. I think everyone that knows anything about the Bible is looking for the coming of the Lord. In the book of Jude, in verse 14, it says, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these things, saying,